Hi, we're back on the History Trail. I'm John Cordes, and today we're at the Garden City Railroad Station. Today we're going to discuss the bust of A.T. Stewart, which is located right behind me, and I want to talk a little bit about Stewart's life. We'll talk more about it at the cathedral, but a little bit about Stewart's life for you, because a lot of residents aren't familiar with the man who founded Garden City. A.T. Stewart, or Alexander Turney Stewart, was born in what today is Northern Ireland. It was a little place called Lisburn outside of Belfast in around 1803. His mother was just 18 at the time of his birth, and his father died before he was born. Stewart was raised by his maternal grandfather and given a very good education. His mother remarried and came to New York, and by the time Stewart was a teenager, he also came to New York City. Worked at various jobs. In 1823, he opened a small store on Lower Broadway. He also married his wife, Cornelia Clinch, that same year. Stewart's business grew and grew, and by 1846, he opened what is considered the first department store. Yes, A.T. Stewart is credited with the concept of putting merchandise in different departments, thus the department store. By 1862, during the Civil War, he opened a huge store on 9th and 10th Street, Broadway and 4th Avenue, considered the largest store in the world, and Stewart was one of the wealthiest men living at the time. In 1869, his mansion was finished on the northwest corner of 34th Street and 5th Avenue. By the time Stewart died in 1876, considered one of the wealthiest men who ever lived. In fact, 2 years back, American Heritage magazine listed the 40 wealthiest Americans who ever lived, and John Rockefeller was number 1, and other names in the top 10 were Carnegie, Astor, Morgan, Vanderbilt, but number 7 was A.T. Stewart, estimated in today's dollars to be worth over $50 billion. Billion with a B. Incredible. Never lived in Garden City. This was just a project toward the end of his life. In fact, he died less than 7 years after starting the project. But in the fall of 1969, during our 100th anniversary, this bust of A.T. Stewart was erected here, and when you drive by, you should know this was a very famous man in the 19th century, and he does face west, where he made his fame and fortune back in New York City. The bust of A.T. Stewart was placed here in October 1969, the same month the Mets won the World Series. The column that the bust rests on, we were able to get from the old Penn Station that was demolished in the 1960s. That station was built in the first decade of the 20th century. So that's the story with the column. Now, beneath the column is actually a time capsule to be opened in the year 2069. I expect you to be there. And in that time capsule are artifacts from the year 1969. So it'd be quite an interesting treat for the people in 2069 to take a look at what life was like in Garden City in 1969. Okay, that's all for now. But next time you drive by this statue, maybe now you have a little better appreciation for the man who founded Garden City. We'll see you next time on the History Trail.